Tesla stock is only one catalyst away from being above 500 bucks per share. I can taste it. I can sense it. I can feel it. The vibe is in the air. It's there. The feeling is there. And it honestly feels like it's inevitable that Tesla's going to go over 500. Now, of course, nothing is financial advice. Anything can happen tomorrow. We can have a big depression coming tomorrow. So none of this is financial advice. But the probability of that happening is very low. And the probability of Tesla going over 500 based on some of these catalysts are extremely high. And no Q3 earnings is not on this because, as we know, Wall Street doesn't really care about quarterly earnings anymore. They care about the big fishes, the robotaxis, the optimists, the energy, the things that are coming. And I've said this many times, they don't want to be surprised like how they were surprised when Nvidia, where one quarter came and it blew everybody away. The only people that didn't blew away were the Nvidia investors, that they knew this was coming. We Tesla investors, we know what's coming. And because we're so loud, Wall Street is taking a note of that as well. So it's not Q3 earnings, but the list of catalysts is long, guys, right? But there's three specific ones that would not only take it over 500, but it'll take it over 600 and the other one over 1,000 bucks per share. That's what I'm going to say. So let's just get down to it. Smash that like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go. So as I mentioned earlier, the list of catalysts is long and I'll go over it near the end of this video, but just three specific ones that we really need to keep an eye on to see this happening and going beyond. So the first one is Tesla removing robotaxi safety drivers from the current robotaxi. This would be amazing. This means that Tesla, they're ready to do robotaxi services. They're ready to scale big time. But I don't think this is going to happen by year end, as Elon said. He mentioned by year end, they will be removing Tesla safety drivers. There's only 15 robotaxis in the US at the moment, and of course growing. But I'm not too sure about that. I think first half of 2026 makes more sense unless they're planning to increase the 15 to 100 and only allow maybe half of them to have safety drivers. Now, this would be a big move. This, I think, could take the stock to not only 500, but beyond that a little bit, because this is the first major big step to getting this thing pretty much commercialized and into the public hands for people to use robotaxis. So I think this is one massive catalyst that will take Tesla stock not just to 500, but above that. The next catalyst here is that not only will it take it to 500, even if robotaxi safety remover of the driver, if this doesn't happen, the second catalyst will not only take it over 500, but over 620 bucks per share. And the reason why 620, it's because that's the 2 trillion mark. The second catalyst is Elon's compensation package being approved. Now, there's a double-edged sword here because if this gets rejected, then I think the stock can tumble down. I think it could probably go down maybe below 350, maybe even 300 bucks per share, maybe even below that as well, because this is what Elon wants to continue. I don't want to say working at Tesla. He's still going to be the CEO of Tesla, but he's not going to take the optimist too seriously. He won't be getting his 25% if this gets rejected, but I do think this is going to get accepted by a wide margin. I mean, 8.5 trillion. That's what it needs to take Tesla, the valuation, to 8.5 trillion to get his full payout of the 25%. I think even 28% if you include the 2018 Delaware one. But that's also part of the catalyst. We'll talk about that later. He'll get over 25% of Tesla as what he wanted, which equates to about $1 trillion worth of compensation in stock, of course. And that would bring the Tesla stock to 2,600, at least 2,640 for all this to happen. Now, of course, there's tranches that he needs to hit. And the first one starts at where? At 2 trillion. I do strongly believe that once this compensation does get approved, if you guys haven't voted, go vote now. This is very important. If you're a Tesla long-term shareholder, this is a guaranteed, Elon will take this to an 8.5 to 10 trillion market cap. It's a guaranteed. His two other compensation package, he nailed it within 24 to 30 months. I'm expecting the same thing about this one. Now, maybe a bit longer because this is a more specific compensation package with the milestones. But nonetheless, if you guys haven't voted, contact your broker, get your control numbers, and go vote for this. This is very, very important. But the first tranche starts at 2 trillion. And I see, no doubt, and kind of obvious in my point of view that once this gets approved, it's a big catalyst for the stock to go to $620, regardless of robotaxi safety driver happens or not, if they remove it or not. So I think not only can we hit 500 with this, but we can go as high as 620 within the next 6 to 8 months, in my opinion. And my price target, as you guys know, is 575 by end of this year. And you guys know my reasons, but this is not part of that reason. So this is why I can see Tesla not only hitting 500, but going to 620, essentially going over $600 per share. So this is a very big catalyst, and it's in our hands to vote on it. And if you guys haven't voted, go vote now. What are you waiting for? Go contact your broker and vote for this thing. It depends on us. The future of Tesla depends on us shareholders. So that's the second catalyst. The third catalyst, which piggybacks on the second catalyst of Elon's compensation package, because if that doesn't get approved, then Elon won't get his 25%. Then he won't do this thing that we want him to do, or he probably would, but not to the scale that we want him to do it on, is the Optimus. This catalyst of being the first orders of Optimus coming, plus the Optimus production ramp, I think this can not only take Tesla stock above 500, not only above 620, but probably over $1,000 per share. Now, I'm in it for the robotaxi, but I also know that robotaxi could take some time to reach massive production, to reach massive cities, maybe in the next 2 to 3, 4 years. While Optimus, I think it'll take a whole lot faster to be, I guess, integrated in society, in factories, in companies, taking white collar and blue collar jobs. And I do think we're some time away from that, but I can see that. I can see the first order coming from SpaceX, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, whatever it is. Dell and other companies making their first orders with Optimus sometime next year, because Elon did say that they want to produce 50,000 Optimus robots next year. I don't know what they're going to do with them. 50,000 Optimus robots, a lot of flipping robots. And it'd be a shame if he wouldn't sell any to anybody. But if next year's 50,000, and the year after that is probably over 150,000 or 200,000. So that is insane. And I know I say that a lot on the channel, but it is. But this is what's going to take Tesla stock over $1,000 per flipping share. Despite me being all in for the robotaxi, this Optimus thing is something that we gotta keep an eye on, because they are coming and they are going to. It's the labor market. If you can go after a labor market and take, 10, 20% chunk of that, that's a lot of flipping value. And when this, again, piggybacks on top of Elon's compensation package, which we're all voting for, go vote right now if you guys haven't voted. It's very flipping important. But these three catalysts, I think, and I'm pretty darn sure, are the main ones that are going to take Tesla stock to 500. And again, Elon's compensation package is literally in about 2 to 3 weeks time. We'll know on November 6th. And I do expect the stock in the market to react to it. I don't think it's going to be sell the news. Low probability of that being sell the news of that, to be honest. But essentially, when you vote on this, you're pretty much telling Elon that, hey, Elon, hit your 8.5 trillion. You're going to get what you're going to get. I don't see why the market is not going to react very positively on this. But again, it's the market, and it's Tesla. Good news, stock goes down. Bad news, stock goes up. That's just how it is. But I think these three main catalysts are the ones that's going to take Tesla stock above 500. Now, other catalysts that will potentially take Tesla stock to 500, maybe a bit higher than that, maybe a combination of these catalysts too, not as strong as the first three that I mentioned. One of them is the Delaware ruling being reversed, the 2018 compensation package that's being held up in Delaware. I don't think this has much of an effect on Tesla stock, to be honest with you. I think maybe 1 or 2%, but I think now that we know that the board of the Tesla board is proactive on this and they have a plan, if it doesn't get passed, well, he'll be compensated another way. In Texas, I don't think this is much of an uncertainty or much of a negative news here or positive news. I don't think there's much of a catalyst, really, in my opinion. However, though, FSD unsupervised, FSD 14 widespread, these are catalysts as well. But mainly the unsupervised, if that goes across the US and then North America, and then other countries, my God, this is massive. This is the roadmap for robotaxis, which is flipping massive. Of course, FSD going into China and Europe, this is also massive as well. Robotaxi expansion is the other one. Tesla semi-ramp, this is a good one as well. But of course, in the long term, this is going to be a rounding error. Of course, FSD, if truck driving will become self-driving, this is going to be a massive business for Tesla. Of course, we have Tesla Energy ramping in Houston. There's another factory coming that can bring the capacity to 130 gigawatt hours, which is absolutely massive. Tesla Energy is very big. Volume production of the Cybercab, this is very big. Some are saying with the steering wheel and pedals. And I'm telling you guys right now, if the Cybercab comes out with the steering wheel and pedals, take my money right now. Take my money right now. But I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going balls to the walls with this autonomy stuff. They're going with that. And I don't think they would do it. If they do it, look, it'd be smart for them to do it because people are thinking about this differently. They're thinking about if the Cybercat comes out with a steering wheel and pedal, this can't be an autonomous vehicle anymore. No, make it portable, make it adjustable, that you can remove the pedals and the steering wheel. But I guess the interior and all that kind of stuff are going to be different because, of course, in the Cybercab, it looks like you're sitting in a movie theater, not sitting to drive, right? So let's see what's going to happen with this. But most likely, they are not going to come out with the steering wheel and pedal. It's a dedicated robotaxi, and that is that. Affordable models ramp, that's happening. So that's also a catalyst. We'll see that in Q4. Cybervan is another one. And one big one is interest rate cuts. This one is like a lever. The lower this thing goes, the higher Tesla stock's going to go because Tesla can sell more cars and it'll be cheaper and more affordable, leasing options and financing, all that goodies. So these are the list of catalysts, but the top 3, as I mentioned earlier in this video, are the main ones that we can see this happen sooner than the rest of them. The other ones, some are bigger than the others, some need a mix for it to happen, but those first 3, my God, $1,000 per share, guys. That's absolutely insane. Now, I think robotaxi by itself can hit $1,000 per share, in my opinion, right? But we need to see expansion of that and finally to see revenue and profits of that first. And of course, the guidance on that as well. But man, $1,000 per share, that's going to call the next stock split. And if you guys want to know when the next Tesla stock split is going to happen, check out this video right here. It's a sheesh moment. You guys will enjoy it though. Subscribe, guys. Become a channel member. Stay curious and get ready for Q3 earnings. I am going live for that. It's going to be flipping fire. Let's go.